Jim Carrey has been popping up in my meditations and dreams for months. Listen to this. Are you following all this Jim Carrey stuff? It's freaking crazy. Okay, I feel like I'm entangled in this a bit, and I'm going to explain that here. It's going to be a long video, TLDR, TLDW. Essentially, for a while there, I was getting messages that Jim Carrey was my soulmate, and every time I try to tell myself, nah, that's crazy, something else would come up to confirm it. And so now with all of this stuff going on with him in the news or in, social media, whatever, like all of this buzz about his award speech in French and how people don't believe it's really him, has got me feeling like I need to talk about what I've been experiencing. So, okay, let's see here. Back up several months. I don't even know when this started exactly, but late 2025. I started getting little glimpses of him in meditations, or maybe he was a character in a dream, or I'd see little things throughout the day that would remind me of him or from a movie or something. Like somebody might say a quote from a movie or whatever. One of them that I remember vividly was seeing a video here on TikTok, a clip of a music video from the early 90s. The song was "Cause I'm a Blonde," and it was Julie Brown, and it was for the movie Earth Girls Are Easy, starring Gina Davis and Jeff Goldblum, which I've never seen. Okay, this should have been a movie I would have watched back then, but I didn't for some reason, and I decided, I'll put that on my list of movies to watch. That might be fun to watch. I like to play things that don't require a lot of my mental attention while I'm doing other things. So a few days later, I start that movie up, and lo and behold, Jim Carrey is a character in this movie. I had no idea. I didn't know. So it's little things like that, okay? So fast forward to like January 12th, and the reason I know that date is I do have a video on my phone showing me the date. Like I hold up my iPad to show the date for like a timestamp, because I'm like, I feel like I need to document this. I had a meditation, and in that meditation I left it feeling like Jim Carrey was my soulmate. We were meant to connect on some way, whether it be creatively, romantically, whatever, I'm not sure. It all feels very delusional, and like I said before, every time I would question that, I would get another confirmation not to question it. And I know to take my interpretation of what these messages with a huge grain of salt. Like, he might not be my soulmate as far as like lifelong romantic partner or whatever. Whatever. In addition to that, I don't believe necessarily there's like one soulmate out there. I believe we have different soulmates for different stages. Maybe right now, there's something just in the 5D, versus like this reality. I don't know. It's fucking weird, but it feels really, really real, and it feels very important that I talk about it. Okay, January 12th, I record this video saying, hey, I think Jim Carrey is my soulmate. I'm documenting this right now. It's almost like when I say it out loud, I whisper. The last time I went to EMDR therapy, I talked to my therapist about it, but I couldn't even say his name. I'm like, it's so fucking delusional. I feel weird even saying it out loud. So anyway, it really kind of hit a peak and intensified the weekend of my 50th birthday. I rented an Airbnb, and I secluded myself. There was a snowstorm, and the place had no Wi-Fi, even though it was supposed to. So I did a lot of meditating and resting and writing and some witchcraft. What else are you going to do when there's no Wi-Fi, right? So in these meditations that weekend, it got more and more intense. And as I was writing and working on my screenplay, it's a pilot episode. The main character, the female character, has always been me, but the male character has never really been very clear. But now it's Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey plays this male character in my story. And I remember distinctly thinking, oh man, like Jim Carrey might not do this because he's gonna have to do love scenes with men. Okay, so the story is a dystopian future. Think Handmaid's Tale, but sexual, very sexual. It's the main character is a woman who is utilized by the men in this future to help other women. She essentially coaches the other women to be good partners, but what she's really doing is she is empowering them. And if she's secretly doing this, she's secretly empowering these women. So that's the concept of that, essentially. And then her husband in this storyline is bisexual. Secretly, all of these people are, you know what I mean? And that's kind of the deal. Like, we're putting on this front, but what we are in private. And that's what I feel like is the reality, is a lot of these really, really, really conservative men are just super gay and so fucking scared. Anywho, that's neither here nor there. But I had the thought, Jim Carrey's going to have to do sex scenes with a man in order for this to work. And so, like, I mean, imagine me, this woman in Iowa who's never finished a script, let alone sold one. How the hell am I going to sell it and also get Jim Carrey to play the lead? But here's the thing, though. Like, this is what's going on in my head. So I'm like, nah, he would never do that, blah, blah, blah. Plus, it's not a comedy. It could be a dark comedy. There could be some comedic elements, of course, but essentially it's a dystopian drama. So, my birthday weekend, I decided, okay, I think I'm going to watch more of his movies. I'm going to watch more of his stuff. I started watching interviews and clips and things. Oh, this is what it was. I was actively looking for Jim Carrey, like, love scenes. Like, isn't there a compilation somewhere of all of his kissing scenes, for example? There's a TikTok video here, late January, that I recorded, so you can go back and verify that. I did that. Because I'm like, I don't even know if I find this man sexy, but yet I'm having all of these thoughts, right? So I'm like, I want to see this in action, but maybe all of his love scenes were goofy as shit, and that's why they're not actually sexy. So I couldn't find anything, and then I decided to start watching his movies. I got on IMDb and started reading his bio, and the first thing I see is his birthday, January 17th, 1962. My birthday is January 17th, 1976. So we have the same birthday, 14 years apart, okay? I'm like, that's not a coincidence. I'm sure at some point in the past I had learned that we shared a birthday, but it didn't stick. I remember the women I shared my birthday with, Betty White, Michelle Obama, but I didn't remember this one. So I do some research, I do some reading on IMDb, and then decide, you know, I should probably maybe watch some of these movies. I knew I wanted to watch some of them again, like maybe with a different lens, like An Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind, The Truman Show, those kinds of things. But I decided to find a list of his top movies, and I decided I was going to watch the first one I'd never seen. And that one was I Love You, Philip Morris. And I was like, oh, I kind of vaguely remember this, but I didn't really know what it was about or anything. But I'm like, that's the one. That's the one I'm going to watch. And 5 minutes in, maybe not even that far in, he is doing sex scenes with the man. He is very gay in that movie, and he is clearly not afraid to do sex scenes with the man. And so how am I not supposed to freak out a little bit about that? You know, that's very specific. That's very specific. So anyway, let's see here. This was late January. It's now March 3rd. So over the last, I don't know, couple of months, I start watching things here and there, and a lot of it's him just talking philosophically and stuff like that, interviews and things, and that essentially every time I watch a little something, there's a little glimmer of it where I'm like, oh, I was meant to see that right now, you know? Fast forward to a week ago or so, I come across this video of him giving the acceptance speech in French, and I'm watching it as everyone else is watching it, and I'm seeing that he just doesn't look like himself. It is weird he did the plastic surgery thing, because, you know, why? I missed the beard. I liked the beard he had going on there for a little while. And what I noticed was his eyes were different. I just thought they kind of looked sad, maybe a little vacant, maybe a little, like, performative. But now, like, really looking at it with all of the speculation on the internet about the fact that people believe it's a clone or a look-alike, The eyes are off. The eyes are off. The way they're set is off. But still, throughout all of this, I was like, that's cool. He learned French. That's cool. Maybe he's being more himself. Maybe the big personality, the big gestures and all of that was performative, and maybe he's just over it, whatever. I tend to assume the best, assume good intentions, what have you, before, suspecting any kind of anything crazy or whatever. So then I start seeing the responses, people's responses to this, people's reactions to this, and people are concerned. A few other things worth noting. About 3 days ago, I came across a video, and it was a channeled message. I watched lots of those. They tend to come up on my feed, and I will tune in if it feels right. Usually I have an instinctual yes or no if I want to listen or not, and I go with it. And when I listen, they're usually really great. And this particular one was freaky. So I was on the hydro massage bed at Planet Fitness, and while listening to it, and she said a few different things about divine masculine and what have you, and he comes to mind instantly on those. And sometimes it's different people, but lately it's like been him. And she was saying different things that could happen or I can expect to happen, and I'm like, this is delusional, this is crazy, right? I tend to imagine's not the right word. I'm not forcing it. It's like the image I'm getting in my mind. I feel like it's different than me choosing what I'm imagining. So I'm getting this particular vision of him in these different situations. And then I'm like, nah, this is crazy. I'm fucking crazy. And at the very end, she said something like, it's giving total Dumb and Dumber vibes, but in the cutest way. And I was like, I sat up and I went, it was like another example of no, you're not crazy, right? So now, fast forward to last night, I come across a message from this particular person who remote viewed him, and she's saying he is no longer alive. And it's just very strange. It's just all so strange, and I feel entangled in it. And I also feel how crazy it is that I feel entangled in it. So I'm just curious. I'm putting it out there because I want to be honest, because I know I need to put my weird out there. And I'm curious if other people are experiencing this, or if other people have had visions or thoughts or dreams or whatever of Jim Carrey recently. Because if there's some shady shit going on, it's been a process, and we're just now seeing it, right? Anyway, it's crazy. Jim Carrey, love and light. Namaste, wherever you may be. Oh, in a meditation also. So with the whole soulmate thing or whatever, maybe he's just a money guy for the nonprofit idea I have, which is a network of communes, essentially, with a homeschool type network, empowering teachers to leave public education and start these really conscious schools. And I need somebody with a fat pocketbook to fund that. So I even drafted a letter to him about that a few days ago, thinking maybe that's what the connection is, I don't know, but there's a connection, there's a thing. And maybe it's just the fact that I'm a human who is open and willing to hear it and see the truth, and that's why he's been coming through. I'm not sure. So I'm just curious. I'm hoping to connect with others who don't think I'm crazy. Have a lovely, lovely evening.